Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 1389, written by ThereBeShelas. Why does my dad sit alone in his car every night? I moved out of home not long after graduating high school, but while I was still living with my parents, I'd often witness my dad leaving the house to sit in his car for an hour or so, only to come back inside and continue on like normal. It would only happen at night, and it never seemed strange as my dad's always been a car guy, and I just summed it up to a man loving his car. Recently, after visiting for dinner, I asked my mom if she knew why my dad did this, and she had no idea what I was talking about. They've been married for 10 years, so it seemed strange she'd never picked up on it, but my sister hadn't known about it either. He never drove anywhere when he did this, he just sat there. I didn't want to question my dad about it. For whatever reason, the idea made me uneasy. My father and I have a very close relationship outside of this mystery, but it's always made me feel rather strange thinking about it. Case notes for file 1389. Why does my dad sit alone every night in his car? I wonder if your father was using the car as his man cave of sorts. How your mom or sister never noticed, that's hard to say. Maybe your mom didn't want it to seem like their marriage was shaky, or that your dad needed space, but it wouldn't explain why your sister never noticed. If it's a doppelganger, maybe seeing a father from a different universe, but the question would still be the same, even if it's happening in a different universe. Why is he doing that? Just a classic mystery of the human condition. Case file number 1390, written by Malitov, The Intruder's Riddle. Myself and some coworkers got transferred to another facility for a long-term contract, 2 years. The new facility was about 8 hours away, so instead of staying in a hotel, 4 of us rented an apartment. One night, I was there by myself and got up to go to the bathroom. I hear someone in the kitchen and look down the hallway to see a backpack on the couch. I figured it was one of my coworkers getting off early and used the bathroom and went back to bed. Couple days later, I saw my coworkers and asked them about it. They denied it and said they were on an overnight job about 3 hours away. Then I remembered the deadbolt on the door was still locked the next morning. It only unlocked from the inside. The only way in or out of the apartment was the front door, or a crawl space that had the door nailed shut. The scariest part was not knowing how someone got in or out. I've dealt with home intruders before, so it's nothing new for me. It just freaked me out that someone could come and go as they please. Case notes of file 1390. The Intruder's Riddle. Of all the violent human gangs around, or supernatural monsters or glitches, nothing makes me more unsettled than a home invasion or break-in, or even if it's a glitch, anything affecting you in your home, where you're supposed to, it's supposed to be your own little castle. Without your permission, something happening is very violating, especially when you can't even imagine how the break-in or glitch happened. You can't feel safe again, or at least it would take a long time to. I don't envy this experience, whatever the cause. Case file number 1391, written by Biomaster09, The Sinister Swings. Back when I was in college, I, a 250-pound guy, fairly muscly, was at my friend's house, and she lived about 2 blocks from an elementary school with a really nice park and playground attached. Outside of school hours, no one went there, so we used to go there all the time and just hang out. Day, night, crack of dawn, whenever. It was always fun to just get away. One night, around midnight, we had just eaten at IHOP and decided to hang out on the swings. For some reason, it seemed darker than normal that night, and just weird. We were sitting on the swings and not talking much. All of a sudden, I had this insane feeling of fear and just wrongness come over me. I don't know how to explain it, but the entire park just felt wrong. Like my mind and body just started screaming at me to get the hell away from the park right at that exact instant, or else. About that time, she turned to me and said, You want to get out of here? I said yes, and we started walking towards the car. We made it maybe 5 feet, and we both, at the exact same time, started running as fast as we could to the car, jumped in and drove off as fast as we could. Turned out she had that exact same pervasive feeling of just wrongness about the place. To this day, I have no idea why we both felt that sudden, intense fear and uneasiness about a place we had been to hundreds of times. To this day, neither one of us has gone back to that park. Case answer file 1391, The Sinister Swings. So this is a shared spidey sense, you could say, and there's been a few accounts of this where people are close together and they get the same sense of dread and fear and like, oh crap, we have to leave really quickly. There was some kind of entity in that area, no doubt about that. Even the sense of the air going cold or feeling wrong, it's a feeling induced by your own subconscious to get you to pay attention and not ignore the warning. Kind of like pain is our own signal to not ignore something wrong with the body. Well, if there's something in the local environment, the body, the mind is going to definitely let you know. So listen to it. Don't ignore it. Case file number 1392, written by MotherBike, From the Dance Floor to the Crash Site. I was taking dance lessons about 20 minutes away from my house and was getting a ride home from my mom one night after lessons. We stopped at a red light and I happened to notice a car coming up to the T-shaped intersection rather erratically. They had the green and I said to my mom, "They better slow down." No sooner than the phrase left my mouth, crash! The car had just missed a transformer but hit the streetlight next to it. I jumped out of the car, as did 5 kids in a car that was right next to the light the first car had hit. Me and 5 guys are trying to get the guy to come out too, but then me and another one of the guys sees the passenger coming to speak frantically in some Russian or European language. The 2 of us go over to her side of the car, ask her if she's okay, and in some broken English, she says she is. However, she's also getting herself out of the car. We try to get her to stay put, but now the guy is coming too. We check on him while my mom is on the phone with the police in the background. The woman starts heading off down towards a gravel road further away from the crash site. A few of us follow her to make sure she's okay. She probably had a concussion at least. There's some townhouse-style apartments nearby, and we follow to what is presumably her house. All of us are just confused as a little voice calls to her after she knocks on the door. In her native language, I assume, she told the child to open the door. She then looked at us standing about 5 feet away with what we can now see in the faint porch light is a broken left arm and said, "Please go, I'm fine." The child lets the mom in, and we head back to see the guy getting loaded onto a stretcher, but I heard he was a bit combative before we got back. I still to this day have no idea what all that was about, but I have a strange feeling she went home to hide something that she shouldn't have had in the car with her. Hope she's okay. Case answer file 1392, From the Dance Floor to the Crash Site. Indeed, this strikes me as an erratic escape attempt or maybe a rapid delivery of some kind of item or substance that they weren't meant to be found with. Organized crime, maybe? It is very weird, but I don't know if there's anything supernatural involved. Maybe with the girl that answered the door. And now time for the quote of the day. I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots. Albert Einstein. Well, if you define ourselves as purely stats that are independent from anything we've invented, then yeah, we're definitely getting dumber. Try doing math without a calculator or a computer. Maybe you can do a bit, but it's not going to be as efficient, that's for sure, and certainly not as efficient as people were in 1940. I think as long as the technology is used with some wisdom, and that's the key, then we can do great things with it. AI now is reaching a point where it can do so many incredible things, but I think it's important not to let AI be used as a main course. It's kind of like in cooking. Right now, we have AI, and we can use it to produce extremely delicious spices, herbs, and things that can enhance or maybe help with the preparation of meat and stuff. But it shouldn't be the core focus. It should enhance our ability to create and to prosper. But it can't be in of itself the end goal. Because if it is, then yeah, I do envision a future, say like WALL-E, where we're just in a chair. We're being fed and taken care of by our robot creations that are powered by AI, and we don't have to do anything ourselves. And that sounds good on paper, but it destroys and melts the soul. It's not what we actually want. Kind of like the old adage of, be careful what you wish for, because there's definitely unintended consequences. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.